Hey, how you doing? Can't quite believe it's that time of year again, to be honest, but apparently it is. It's that newfangled yearly "How good a human have you been?" Don't worry, it's not just you. It's basically all 6.5 billion, right, 6.5 billion. Which, and it's something we've been meaning to do from now on, which is to try and put numbers into context. Purely because there's so many of us. I mean, 6.5 billion, so easy to say, and yet so difficult to get your head around, right? So, 6.5 billion. Well, let me give you an idea. If I was to sit here and count to 1 million, which I'm sure you might find is possibly more interesting than some of the videos I do, but if I was to count to 1 million, starting right now, and not pausing to have any comfort breaks, or to eat or sleep, but just counting, it would take me 3.5 days to count to 1 million. If I was to do the same to 1 billion, how long do you think it would take? Any ideas? No? No? About 33 years. And that's not doing anything else. So obviously I'd have died of malnutrition and thirst long before then. But if I was to do nothing but just count to 1 billion, it would take you 33 years. So that puts it in some context. It would take you, it's longer than you've got to live to count the number of people on Earth, and that's if you didn't do anything else. So we're a bit rubbish when it comes to numbers. We weren't designed that way. We're fairly short. Our range in the continuum of the universe is sort of around about the Goldilocks era, not too big, not too small. But we seem to find anything over 100 quite difficult for our brains to get our heads around, because we've just spent the last, let's say we've had consciousness for 500,000 years, and we've never really had to think much bigger than that. One lion's going to kill you. Who has to think about 100 lions? Anything over 20 is going to be a herd, and either it's nice to eat or it's going to run you down. So that's why we thought it's best to try and start explaining to people about numbers. So there's 6.5 billion of us now. That's a lot of us crowded onto a not small but not large planet. Lots of the rules we've had up until now working fine, seem to be. Awful lot of poverty, hatred, nastiness, disease, lots of things we can combat, lots of things we can't, we just have to learn to live with. So we've decided that we're going to start, and when I say we've decided, I mean your conscious brain and mine have got together, and we have decided. You may not have played an active part in that, you may not remember, but we did when we decided that we were going to look at big problems, really big, not just tiny problems, not just immediate problems, but big problems, get some big issues solved. And one of those is to have these, actually yearly, we're going to start with yearly checkups to find out how you're doing as a human being, how much worth you think you have, as in, well, simply, if you die, do you think you're going to leave the planet slightly better than you found it? Or is it going to be worse for your arrival? Have you been a benefit, or have you been a burden? Now obviously it's vastly more complicated than that, but we're going to start with these interviews and give you an opportunity for you to just pause and reflect and think about what you've done to make the world a better place. Not to make it better for you, because that's not what counts. You see, there is a pretty clever piece of wisdom that goes something like, if you have excess food, the best place to store your food is inside somebody else's stomach. And the reason behind that is during bad times, your friends will help you out. So in the same way, the best place to store your heart, your emotional heart, your well-being, is inside other people. I know that's hard to get your head round often when you look at the wonderful world of celebrity culture we live in, but think about this. The actual genuine selflessness, if you look at people who have committed acts of genuine, complete and absolute selflessness, the Gandhis, for recent times, the Nelson Mandelas and the Gandhis, do you think that the vast majority of celebrities will still be held in high regard in even 20 years' time, say 50? You have to remember there were vaudeville acts which we've never even heard of, which were huge, and people would think that they would last for generations upon generations. Now, most people are lucky if they can manage more than 6 famous comedians and people from the Star movies that were 80 years ago. Lauren Hardy, Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, and that's fairly minor. That's only if you grew up watching crappy BBC Two evening programmes. And Charlie Chaplin. You know, there were others, Fatty Arbuckle, etc. But, you know, really, not a lot. But you have a feeling that your Mandelas and your Gandhis are going to be living on for a long, long time. So, because they've sussed out, that's how you be a proper human being. Yes, I know, get past the patronising bit and the fact that I might be talking down to you and you might be sitting there going, oh, for God's sake, I'm a Cambridge Don, or I'm living my own life. It's busy enough as it is without you telling me what to do. Yes, it's not me saying it, it's our collective consciousness saying it. So get past the strange man talking to you in the camera and just what our collective brains are saying. So anyhow, moving on, the weekly yearly. You can tell I'm new at this as well. So this these yearly reports, they're going to start initiating. Well, here's the first one. It's just a pilot, so we're going to see how it goes, and we'd absolutely welcome your feedback. But if you could just enclose a little paragraph telling us how things are getting on, what you think could be better, what you'd like us to make improvements on ourselves, and we'll maybe give a bit of feedback on how you can improve your lot. Are you doing any volunteering? If you're not, thoroughly recommend it, honestly. If you want a chance to get outside, I know your life might be very busy, but just a couple of hours a month, guarantee you, cannot give you a better piece of wisdom, advice for how to make your life better, is to go off and do some work with some other people and do it for free. Trust me, I promise you, I cannot promise you enough. There isn't enoughisms in the world for me to tell you that doing some volunteering will make you feel really good about yourself and will make the world a better place. And therefore will make these little tete-a-tetes between us, these little encounters, so much better. Anyhow, so that's it. It's just a brief chat. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free, as I said, any feedback you have, any issues you have, then come back to me with that and I'll be more than happy to take those into account. Okay? Alright. Okay, well, thanks for dropping in, and I hope things work out well for you, and as you know, as always, my door is always open to you. Okay? And otherwise you're doing a great job, I think. Lots of really good positive feedback. You're taking this whole existential dread and the fact that nobody has the meaning to life and we're all just basically making it up as we go along, but you seem to be doing okay. Yeah, you just keep moving on. Alright, okay, go get yourself some lunch or something. Alright? I'll speak to you later on. Cheers.